Now you're openly a socialist.
Yeah, I'm a democratic socialist.
Democratic socialism has become more popular than ever. Now that major celebrities are openly admitting that they're with the movement, the taboo is dissolving. More and more folks are taken to the street, not only to demand change, but to make it themselves, even those in the communist-adverse Latino community. But John Leguizamo is breaking the mold.
Can you have conversations with non-simpaticos? I mean, because you have that ability.
Yeah, I've had conversations.
Yeah, what does that look like?
I mean, I'm not as good. We're talking to people who are Latinos who I'm not sympathetic with. It upsets me a little bit. Okay. So I have to learn how to be calmer and more accepting so I can talk to them, because I know there's a lot of Colombians and Venezuelans who have become sort of socialists. Kind of triggers them because of, I guess what happened, they blame Chavez and Maduro for the ills of Venezuela, and then Colombians are blaming them for all the immigrants coming to Colombia, and they're getting, so, I have to talk to them about, because look, socialist programs are important, like the post office, like the police department, like the fire department, like your social security, like public education. Yeah. These are socialist programs. It's not, I'm a socialist democrat. So, yeah.
You are? Socialist.
Yeah.
First time I hear that from you.
Yeah.
Is that a change?
I mean, You'll
be voting for Democrats, I'm guessing.
I've always voted for Democrats, my whole life. But, I've always had socialist leanings. I've always felt like it was important that everybody have access to the same things. I felt like education shouldn't be a privilege. It's a right. Medicine is not a privilege. It's a right.
So now you're openly a socialist.
Yeah, I'm a democratic socialist.
It's no secret that the Latino community in America has a high concentration of capitalists who fled left-wing revolutions. There's a built-in hurdle we have to overcome to help folks understand that what they like about the U.S. government are all the socialist-leaning parts. It's the capitalists who are the authoritarians in this country. Focusing on that point is what Oliver Larkin told me was most effective for him.
Yeah, what we've seen both I've knocked on hundreds of doors myself. I've had many conversations, including with Latino voters. They're suffering from the cost of living crisis. And they're also, I think what, gets scanned onto democratic socialism is fears of authoritarianism. We talk about the fears of authoritarianism. That's really what we're talking about, especially with refugees and migrants from Cuba, from Nicaragua, where my wife's family is from Venezuela. So we're very familiar with these arguments. When they say communism, what they mean is the repression of political rights, the repression of freedom of speech, of civil and constitutional rights. And that's actually what we're seeing from the Republican Party right now. So when we talk about our agenda of universal childcare, paid family and medical leave, investing in college education and Medicare for all, these are popularly held positions. They're not fringe ideas. They're actually supported by a majority of Americans. These are common sense, mainstream ideas that it's the political situation, the political establishment that is so extreme and saying we can't have these things that many other peer nations enjoy for their people.
There's been a lot of discussion online about the racial makeup of the DSA and whether democratic socialism is really a racist movement. That's clearly not the case. I think that argument is just trying to use identity politics to derail the movement. Plus, the polling shows that people of color have a more favorable view of socialism anyway. I think the real reason they want the conversation to be about race is because this is an economic movement that threatens even establishment Democrats.
If Mamdani's law were to go forward and he were to increase taxes, I think a 9.5% increase, you'll see more people move here. By the way, that tax increase isn't just on the rich. It's on regular people making $122,000 median income. So it's not just on wealthy people.
Right. Well, $120,000 is a good salary. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is a policy that is driving New Yorkers out. And I'm wondering if you're thinking we're going to see a major exodus again, if in fact this takes place.
Yeah, no, I think the exodus is still going on. I think it'll continue. And again, these targeted wealth taxes that we see, right, from states, whether it's California, New York, the wealthy can just leave. right? So these are not going to work.
Do you need any other reason to support Oliver Larkin over Jared Moskowitz? It's clear only one candidate is really fighting for the working class. The center of the party have been shackling progress by weaponizing decorum and identity politics for decades. The whole time enriching themselves on the discourse like Bill Maher here, who is taking the most predictable pivot of all time.
This wing of the party, this new wing with all the energy, and it's not just a few people anymore. Every day I read about a new person in some Colorado and Wisconsin. It's just a level of nutty that I'm so glad that whenever it was, I was like, no, I'm not going along, because this is where it ends.
Could you see yourself voting for J.D. Vance?
Yes.
This is exactly why no one trusts those moderate worms anymore. No more incrementalism. It is time for change. The South is about to witness its first real test today, as yet another Democratic Socialist challenges the establishment. Kai Newkirk is playing hardball in Arizona, and he just might pull through once the polls close.
And the roof is collapsing on the Democratic Party establishment tonight.
All three candidates who Mayor Mamdani supported emerged victorious last night.
Democrat Socialist Malat Kiros beating longtime Democrat Congresswoman Diana DeJette.
We can be the next big progressive victory. We can be the next big victory that says no to AIPAC, that says no to the genocide, that says yes to human rights. It is time to flip the tables of what is a corrupt and authoritarian status quo in our country. The threat that we pose to defeat Greg Stanton is so strong that the billionaires and the oligarchs are coming in now with hundreds of thousands of dollars funded by AI and crypto to try to prop up Stanton and defeat me in this campaign because they see how close that we are.
Kai's campaign has kind of been something of a sleeper. There hasn't been much national attention on this race, but the Republicans sure are afraid of what's coming. They've been trying to counter Kai's ground game with a barrage of fear-mongering, and it all just kind of bounces right off of him.
Four-term incumbent Greg Stanton will be the next Democrat incumbent to face a socialist primary challenge, and his opponent, Kai Newkirk, is making it clear what his radical agenda looks like.
Stanton is just fundamentally vulnerable because on a lot of really important issues, he's on the wrong side of the vast majority of Democrats, whether it's voting for the Laken Riley Act when I'm fighting to abolish ICE, or opposing Medicare for all and taking money from United Health Group when I'm fighting to guarantee health care to all as a right, not a privilege. He's on the wrong side of most Democrats, and so when we're able to actually talk to people, they're siding with us.
One of the reasons why the movement is so successful is because we have real people on the ground in community. This is truly a movement, not of money, but of the many. And the proof is in the fact that Kai is motivating people to actually show up who've never done so before.
I see a lot of people post on Instagram and on Twitter and whatnot of like, oh, like, this is bad, this is bad. I kind of had this moment where I was like, am I going to just sit at home and doom scroll, or am I actually going to do something about it?
You live in West Mesa, right? Yeah. There's actually a really cool candidate that's running out there. His name's Kai Newkirk. Have you heard of him?
We've had this kind of boring moderate Dem for so long, and Kai really has actual values. You can tell what he stands for. And I know a lot of people here in Mesa are excited about the prospect that Greg Stanton could be replaced with somebody who's actually progressive.
You're these corporate billionaires that are pouring this money trying to dictate how American life should be. And Kai Newkirk knows that's not right.
It can't all be about profiting them while people are getting less and less.
If you're in Arizona's 4th district, there's still time to make it to the polls to vote, but likely you already know about Kai. Someone's probably knocked on your door by now. That's how Kai was able to make this insane jump from 23% to 38% as we neared the election. Let's hope he makes history for Arizona and Democratic Socialism. Subscribe to US Democratic Socialists. I'm Tony, and I'll catch you next time.